What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Middle Tennessee Geek. I'm Matt, and today we are very grateful and blessed to have our very first celebrity guest on the channel. This guest started off their acting career on a guest role of an episode of Saved by the Bell, the new class, before getting on the big screen alongside Hollywood legends Reese Witherspoon and Tobey Maguire in the 1998 movie Pleasantville. However, our guest is most widely known by fans for his role as Zane, the first Silver Ranger from the Power Rangers in Space series, a role he would later reprise in recent years on the fan fiction series Bloodline of the Grid as now Commander Zane. Everyone help me to welcome to the channel, even though this is pre-recorded, Justin Nimmo.
What's up, everybody? Hey,
Hey, even though
glad to
we're
be on here. The
just,
Tennessee, yeah,
yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Give me a little bit of your time. Um,
right on.
but,
Yeah, I seen you at Rangerstop, but we just couldn't quite connect at Rangerstop. It was a little busy there that weekend.
yeah, and I'm very shy actually, so I'm most courageous on this camera. So, but yeah, we did meet at Ranger Stop. I was going to actually show it real quick. I do have a picture of
There it
us
is.
there. There it is.
Cool.
But yeah, very busy weekend for all of them. So I try not to be too much of a bother. And I kind of want to show
It
some.
is a busy weekend. Rangerstop is a fabulous convention to be at, and coming up in about 2 weeks is going to be Power Morphicon. Even more Power Rangers. Literally all of them, just about. So if you're in Pasadena, August
23rd,
23rd, 24th, 25th, I think,
something like
you
that.
should stop by and see us.
Yeah, I will not be there, unfortunately. That's a big trip for me here out of Tennessee, but definitely go check him out. I think Chris is going to be there, who's a friend of the channel. Christopher Cameron Lee, and a bunch of others that we've not been able to talk to. But like I said, every Power Ranger is going to be there that can on God's green earth that's willing to come. So
Hence the
I'm so
name,
jealous.
Power Morphicon.
For sure, for sure. But Rangerstop is good too. It was my first time there, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a nice about Rangerstop is that it's small enough that you can get a little visit time with whoever it is, that you're going up to. But Power Morphicon is a little different story. That's like San Diego Comic Con for the Power Rangers. It's busy from the time they open the doors to when you can get that last person standing in line.
Sorry, I got a bug flying around in here on my mic. Yeah. I can only imagine the chaos that's there, with especially probably close to 100 guests there at least.
For sure, yeah. I mean, there's obviously 30 years at almost 5 years or 5 Rangers per year. There's like 100 Power Rangers, and then you've got all the villains, and you've got people that write and people that work on the set. I
Voice
mean, it's
actors,
a lot to do with it. Yep.
for sure, for
All the
sure.
years from '93 through now.
Oh yeah. Hopefully there'll be more in the future, more Rangers. Hasbro get their act together.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try and show up at Power Morphicon with a new item.
Ooh.
Little helmet keychains. Check that
Oh
out.
wow.
That's what I'm
Let me
trying
let
to
me
finish up
highlight
with my
these here.
son. We're printing these at the house, so hopefully we can get
Let me
them
highlight
done.
these here.
Get there.
There we go. Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Got you back.
Okay. I was trying to do a solo and show you off, but it didn't do what I thought. Oh well. But that is cool. So you'll have those at Paramorphicon?
That's the idea. He printed these with a 4 millimeter nozzle, and the color on the back of it bled in a little bit. So we went to a 2 millimeter and changed a few settings on it. So the next ones should be even better than this.
Nice. Now, will that just be at Paramorphicon, or can people like me reach out at some point
I
and
mean,
buy them
I'm
direct?
going to hopefully keep it on the tables in the future as far as different conventions, different times. Um, we're even trying to print full size helmets and it be as close to my helmet as possible, as far as colors and shapes and sizes and everything.
Right.
So we might actually 3D print both.
Oh, that'd be good. I'm sure you have
Yeah.
tons of buyers there on that. Do you
Yep.
have
He's
your
got
original swim class, or
masters.
is it?
Do I have what?
You said your helmet. Do you have the original helmet, or is it a remake?
Not from the show. No, they kept all of the helmets in my season. We weren't really supposed to leave with anything. our year or anybody else's year, but some people, happen to make off with a few extra things sometimes. But
I've heard
no,
stories.
the helmet that I have was made by somebody in the last, I guess, 10 years.
Okay. So, yeah, and as I'm assuming it's the one I held here in Rangerstop.
Yes, yeah, the one that's made out of fiberglass. We'll be 3D printing them, so they'll be a lot lighter, which means they can be produced faster, and the cost will be a whole lot less as well.
And I imagine cosplayers, that'd be good on them because it won't be as hot with it being lighter.
Sure, yeah. Some
I'm a
people like
cosplayer.
helmets just to set up on the shelf. They collect the helmets. Some of them collect the Zords. Some of them collect the action figures. They're just trying to give them something else, that might be a little different to them, something that they can wear and still be able to afford it. For people that don't have a giant space, we might do a mini helmet where it's
Okay.
almost like the size of a bobblehead, I guess.
Right, right. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's been sizes like those for like the Mighty Morphin line out there.
Right. We
That'd
show
be
up at
good.
Power Morphicon and we have one of these for each person in the in space team. That'd be cool to get the whole
Oh
collection.
yeah, yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be cool little collectors.
Sure.
So, before we jump into my questions, how are you? You've revealed back in May your cancer battle, but now you're cancer free. How are you?
Yeah. So it's still hard to hear because I have the side effects from the chemo. It gave like a really bad case of tinnitus. So there's a
Ooh,
constant ringing in the ear. I still have dry throat and nerve damage back there. As far as putting the weight back on, um, I'm probably still down 30 pounds from what they want me at, but I don't know that I really want to put all 30 pounds back on. Yeah,
yeah.
kind
When
of
I
nice.
talked to you, I was like, man, this. I mean, I know you was doing treatment. I was like, man, I wish I was this little.
Yeah. Yeah, I started at 206. I got down to 161. I
Oh
think
no,
this morning I was back to like 171. So putting a little bit of the weight back on, it's just coming on real slow.
slow build. Is it still hard to
But
swallow? I would imagine.
it was super hard. Yeah. There was nothing easy about swallowing even air. So there were some
Jeez.
bad days and then some good days, but made it through it luckily with all the support and the doctors and encouragement that I could stick it through to the very end and finished it out. And I guess very fortunate that it actually, all of the treatments did what they were supposed to do. Because I went back a month later, they did some tests. They did a scope, they did a PET scan, they did a CAT scan, and they came back with the answer and said, "You're 100% free." And I said, "Sweet. So I'm in remission." He said, "Oh, no, no, we don't use the word remission until it's 5 years. So can't
Oh,
say I'm in remission. But I've finished the treatments. I rang the bell, and I'm tested free of it as for now.
oh, great. Now my mother-in-law, she went through breast cancer and she's in, I guess, remission, and she has to take
Uh-huh.
a cancer pill every day. Is that something you have to do as well, or?
No, no, my
Oh,
treatments are completely over. I've got no more radiation, no more chemo. When they did the chemo with me, it was I forgot if it was like 250 grams or something like that. It was a giant bag that they
oh, geez.
put through the port, which I still have the
Right.
um, stitches from that, but they would put it in through the port, and that's a
Hmm.
lot of medicine. It's basically a pound of medicine, I think, is what it came out to. Maybe it's 400 and something grams. It was a bunch. So I mean, it takes a long time to get out of your system.
Right.
But I only went and had two treatments of chemo.
Only two?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe I just misread your stuff. I thought you had was it radiation you had
Well,
more
the
of? Or?
chemo I did two times. Radiation I did 33. So
Oh,
he's
okay.
probably
That was
thinking
more
of radiation.
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I did both at the same time.
yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah. What really compelled my heart because you revealed all this on your Instagram right after my father-in-law had passed from 3 year cancer battle. So uh,
Well, when I
I
found
was
out, I was super nervous and I wanted to go online and try to learn as much about it as I could. Like, I didn't even know if I was supposed to sleep in the same room with my wife. So there was a lot of information that I felt like I didn't get by when I was looking. So I thought, there will be other people that go through this. Why not give
right.
them a little bit of knowledge of what to expect. So I put a bunch of what did happen on my social media. There's obviously some worse parts that I didn't include.
Right.
That's okay. Don't have to know everything because it's not everybody's the same and not everybody can take a lot of stuff. So I try to keep it for the most part PG, not quite G, but PG rated there, and
Right.
help some people in the future, whether it's a friend, a family member, or themselves. Then they'll have a little more edge of knowing what to expect. So just trying to help somebody else out.
Oh, for sure. And just you having the courage to do that was, I can only imagine. 'Cause, I mean,
That was hard, yeah. I mean, it was hard enough to tell my wife, hard enough to tell my kids, my family, my friends, all of the people on social media from around the world. Every level of that was different, but they were all hard.
right. I'm not at your level, but I can only imagine. I mean, just going through it with us as a family, what it was like. So, um,
Yeah,
and again, I told you this several times through Instagram messages. I was praying for you and your family constantly, and so I was so happy for you and your family whenever you got revealed the positive results. So that's great news.
me too. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, again, we can try to just wing it, like you say. I have been known on this channel just to wing stuff. So, but I do have some questions that I did prepare for Rangerstop, and maybe we can kind of touch on those. Or if you want to ask me anything, I'm an open book.
Yeah, hit me a couple of questions. What you got?
Let's see. Let's see. Let's start off with something easy here. What drew you into wanting to become an actor?
I was going to college for an accounting degree. My mom worked at the Department of Public Safety in Oklahoma. There was a lady there who was co-owners of a talent agency in Oklahoma called OMTA, Oklahoma Modeling Talent Association. She said, "You should go talk to that lady." So I went and talked to her, and that girl said, "You need to talk with the owner." And I think when I talked to the owner, she's like, "Hey, you need to get some pictures taken. I've got an idea for you." So I ended up having a coworker at Outback Steakhouse take some pictures, probably late November, outside wearing swimming trunks. I took the pictures back to the lady, and she looked at one of the pictures. She goes, "Yep, that'll win." And I was like, "Win what? I don't understand what's going on." She goes, "We go to a competition. Like this year we'll do New York, next year we do Los Angeles, then back to New York, and then back to Los Angeles. And it's a competition called IMTA, International Talent Model Association." Stayed with the lady for a little while and had some classes, from modeling to the catwalk to try and get rid of your Oklahoma accent. And went to the competition that she talked about in Los Angeles. And the photo that she said was going to win first place did win first place in a category for best smile. Actually, you get to compete in a lot of different things, and that was just one of them that I got in. I think I got awards in like 7 out of 12 things that I entered or something like that. So when we were there, we met with modeling agencies and casting directors and whatnot. Anyways, somebody there said, "If you move to California, come see us." So I moved to California, went through their doors, basically auditioned to be with the agency, and then they started submitting me for parts. I decided that sitting behind a desk, punching a calculator forever probably wasn't going to be a lot of fun.
Right. Now, was there a category for best look like a Brad Pitt?
Yeah, no, but I've done some Brad Pitt lookalike work in California. Um,
That's what I've read, and so I was kind of just making a joke about.
yeah, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Um, there was times I'd show up to do those, and I would literally try not to look like him, and they're like, "Brad," and I was like, "Man, I can't shake that." Being that we're both from, I don't know, people argue, but I would say what I've heard is he's from Oklahoma because everybody
Hmm,
says, "Is your mom Brad's mom?" I'm like, "No, no, we're not related." But we're in the same state, at least,
gotcha.
Oklahoma. I'm at work. This is just in time. So I do rent to own furniture, appliance, and electronics out of Purcell, Oklahoma. I also have a little business outside that is for renting bottles of gas like oxygen, acetylene,
Hmm,
CO2, things that welders, farmers use.
Okay,
And
yeah, I've seen
the
those
truck
trucks.
pulled up, so he's like switching out bottles. He'll come in here in a little bit and sign a
Okay,
little piece of paper to show they switched out bottles.
I got you. Yeah, guys, anybody that's watching this, of course, you can see he's obviously at work, giving us some of his time there. But if you see some weird edits on this, it's because he's had to step away to take care of a customer. We want to be respectful of that and just appreciate him giving us the time. Since you kind of jumped into showing your work off, I do have some work about that, questions about that. What made you want to go into owning your own business like that? Because if I'm fact check me, and you had
When I
worked
came back
five
from
years.
California, I obviously was, needing a job. I had worked for my brother-in-law doing farmers insurance, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it's all right, but it wasn't the best. So then I had a friend from high school say that he was working at Rent-A-Center and I should come up there and get a job with him. And I was like, hell yeah, I'd love to work with you, bro. So I went to Rent-A-Center and I worked there for almost 5 years and decided that was about as much as I wanted to work for somebody else, that I'd rather work for myself. So my dad had a big piece of property here in Purcell, and on one piece of it was another building that normally had rented out to people for their businesses. Well, at the time it was empty, and he said, "You ought to put that rent on in there." I said, "Okay." So next thing you know, up and running, and started that July of 2004. So been in business 20 years and 1 month now. Speaking of just in time. Hold on. And I'm back.
Oh, you're good. I muted that so nobody could hear your conversation.
Right on.
Uh,
Here at work, a
anyway,
lot of people will come in and they'll say, "You're the Power Ranger," and I'm like, "Yeah." And they'll walk around outside, and there's a bunch of like photos on the walls. But then I have this room in the back that's got
all your memorabilia.
a lot of stuff in here. A
Oh,
little workout equipment. But then there's a table that's just stacked with all kinds of stuff.
yeah.
It's pretty neat when they come back here. My high school wrestling coach stopped in today. It's been a while since I've seen him, and him and his wife came in and had to set back for a minute while I helped a customer, and I could see that they're looking at the Power Ranger pictures. I said, "Well, go in that back room. There's a bunch of cool stuff back there."
Right. Okay. So you
Yeah,
do allow some people that you know to go in there and check it out.
yeah. People come through here and they're asking questions. I don't mind showing it to them.
That's nice of you. It's like rent something. God, while you're here.
Take that washer home with you, so I don't
Exactly.
have to deliver it.
So you were saying your dad owned this. Is it the building that you're in now? That building?
There was a different building that sat here in 2000 and probably 2011. Tore it down and built this building.
Okay.
So it used to be not even a quarter of the size of this, but tore it down and built the whole building from scratch, ground up, and I think I did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
There's been one
Still
spot.
going.
If I would have put a door either bigger or in a little bit different of a spot, I think it would have made some things easier, but it would have looked odd. So it worked
Right.
out.
Well, that's good. I'm happy. It sounds like your business is still thriving, so we're happy for that for you. Hopefully,
Hanging in
more
there.
people come
Yeah.
in
When I
for
was
you.
going through all my cancer treatments, the guy that had worked for me uh, over 10 years, I don't even know, a long time, he was able to come down and work for me while I was, really sick, but he just wasn't able to work as many hours as, needed for a business to stay open. So business did struggle during that time. And now that I'm back at work, I'm trying to make it normal again.
Right. Well, that's good. At least it's still standing there. Some people aren't so lucky when it comes to those things and medical bills and whatnot.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one of the things that my son and I were talking about as far as these helmets go. He's like, if we can make any money on this, what are you going to do with it? And I said, well, I've got a few things I got to do. I got to pay for medical bills first, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um, then I put our Christmas trip on a credit card. Still got to pay that off, you know. I'm not some millionaire. And then we 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 got married a year and a half ago, and 6 months after we're buying a house, and then a week after buying the house, I'm diagnosed with cancer and go through cancer. Now there's a swimming pool back there, and obviously, I bought it in December. I didn't get to swim, and trying to keep up with the pool, not feeling good long enough to get the feeding tube out so that I could swim. That wasn't very fun, but it needs a liner. So I told him, I got medical bills, I got a credit card payment, and I need a swimming liner. So I was like, we'll try and sell as many helmets as we can. How's that? He said, I love it.
Right. So your son's the one actually producing those?
Yeah, him
Oh,
and I. He came to me and said, I got a business proposition for you, Dad. I said, well, let's do it.
that's
So we've
awesome.
been working
That's
on
your
about a month. We've had some help from some other fans and people that do 3D work, that have definitely helped us with a lot of stuff. So that's been grateful on their parts. But he has literally recreated the helmet from a bubble from scratch. So it'll be his complete design. And I told him, I said, hey, you need to put your signature on the inside of it because that would be cool. He's like,
exactly.
yeah, I think I can do that. So that's what we're going to
Sure.
work on.
Oh yeah, and that's a form of art, in my opinion, for people that can do that kind of stuff. So that's great for him.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, you're good. Again, I'm muted every time you lay it down, so we're not hearing anything you've got going on. Oh, what was we talking about? Oh, you was making those 3D helmets. So I mean, yeah, to me that's a form of art that your son's able to do. I mean, I just anybody that can do that kind of stuff is just high ranking in my book.
Well, he has an aerospace engineer's master's degree specializing in 3D printing. So
Oh wow,
I really do expect him to come out pretty good.
sure, makes you a proud daddy. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Son,
proud of all the kids.
how many kids do you have? If you don't mind me asking.
So I have two boys, and then my wife has two girls and a boy. So between us, we have five.
Oh wow, I'm exhausted just thinking about that. I just have the one, and she's 4.
Well, let's see. The youngest one is 17. The oldest is about 20, almost 25, 24 now.
Oh wow.
So yeah, you're at a different stage.
I'm in the fun stage still. I just inadvertently agreed to become her coach for her little top t-ball team
Oh
today, and I
boy,
was like, I
yeah.
dread it.
I I was Weebelow's den leader for a few years. The
Den
Cub
leader?
Scouts.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay. Cub Scouts. I thought you were going to lead the Girl
Weebelow's
Scouts.
no Weebelow's Boy Scouts.
Oh, okay. Huh. Never knew anything about that.
And I'm
Mm.
sure I probably did a few years worth of football. And then after I wasn't, part of the coaching thing, then I was nominated to go run flags and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Markers on the side of the field.
Now, now, was that during the time frame of you being, still acting and such? Or
No, so literally I moved back to Oklahoma like 99, 2000, and have been here ever since. Chris Lee hit me up to do a convention for the very first time. That was probably close to 6 years ago. And he tricked me into it. I didn't know what he was doing. He was tricky. He's
I've
like,
heard
hey,
the
I'm
story,
coming to
but I'd love for you to tell
Oklahoma.
more
You
about
want
it.
to hang out? And I was like, yeah, let's hang out, man. I haven't seen you in forever. And I didn't even know how to get a hold of him. And he said, you remember those books they gave us when we finished the season? It had some pictures in there. I said, yeah. And he goes, you ought to get a couple of those printed off. Why? I didn't even know Comic Cons existed. Anyways, he talked me into it. I printed some off and showed up at a comic book store and did a signing in Oklahoma right before Power Morphicon. And that had to be like 6 years ago because it was just right before Power Morphicon.
Even though he tricked you, how'd you like the experience? I mean, it was first time experience, and what was
It
it
was
like?
pretty bizarre. I was shocked. There was a car that drove up from Texas and had their suits and everything. So I mean, I was kind of flabbergasted. Like, what? No way. Obviously now I understand because I go to a lot of them and see a whole lot of cosplay. I
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were literally just had like Halloween costumes. You know what I mean? The wrong time of the year. But then I realized, oh no, those suits, they make them, they buy pieces, they put them together, and they have different colors and different seasons, and they do it with all different shows. So I've had a lot to learn, and it's been a lot of fun. Getting to meet all the people and travel to the different places. It's been a blast.
Oh, yeah, and I feel like, and when I met you, you're one of those that actually genuinely enjoys meeting the fans. I mean, I can't give any names or anything, but there's some out there that just feels like they're just there just to do the job. Well, I don't feel like that with you, so I commend you for that.
Sometimes it feels that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is a job. I mean, you mentioned you got medical bills, house bills, and all this going
Sure.
on. So, I
Yeah.
mean, you
No, I
are
mean,
there just to make money. You're a
they
human.
they
So,
do understand that they're basically supporting the guest or the actor of their choice, whether it's an artist, a voiceover, a person, whatever it is. They're supporting that person when they're getting something at their table,
mm,
and it is, I guess, can be, not is, but can be a inconvenience sometimes to do a convention. You obviously, I've got to board my St. Bernard, and I've got to make sure that there's somebody to take care of the house, and then I've got to pack bags and be gone and come back home. There's a lot involved on our end to do them, and
mm-hmm.
it's kind of a reward that we get when somebody comes and supports us at our table. And it's perfectly fine if somebody just wants to come over and shake hands and say that they enjoyed watching you on the show. I get a lot of those, and I appreciate each one of them. There's been a lot of stories of why they watched Power Rangers and what it did for them, and it's always nice to be able to hear those stories.
Well, it wasn't one of my questions, but you made a good point. Do you have a story from a guest that kind of resonates with you?
One special guest coming to see me stand out. Not that I can think
Or
of.
not? I'm sorry, not guest. A fan. I
Yeah,
missed
like
it.
a fan. Hold for a while to switch out bottles or wrap up with you.
It's up to you. I'm on your time, so.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll probably wrap it up because it'll take a while to be logging you up there.
okay.
But
Yeah.
I want to say thank you for having me on as a guest and getting to know you and speak with your fans as well.
I appreciate you coming on, sir. You're always welcome to come on again. Maybe we can continue on the conversation another time. Um,
Sounds good.
uh, anything, a little shout out you want to do real quick? I know you said Power Morphicon. You got anything else coming up that you want to promote out there for your fans?
Might be in Tulsa this weekend. Power Morphicon in a couple of weeks. I've posted a few. I know there's one for Singapore and Syracuse and Pennsylvania. So there's a bunch of them come up. Just check out my website. My Instagram, for the most part, is the one where you
Yeah.
can learn all
And
that.
we've been feeding those on the bottom there for everybody to go find you on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot and cameos. So,
Awesome.
all
I
right, Justin.
appreciate it.
Well, I
Yeah, I
appreciate.
even got Cameo on there.
Yes, sir. All right, Justin. Well, I appreciate your time, sir. You have a great rest of the day.
You too. Bye bye.
All right, guys. So great first guest, Justin Nimmo, super awesome, nice guy. I did have tons more questions I could have asked him. Unfortunately, he does have to do his job, so maybe he'll come on again another time with us and kind of talk some more. I kind of just leave these as conversations. I mean, I do have talking points, but conversations always seem to go better. Getting to know him a little bit more as a person, and he got to know me a little bit more as a person. Uh, so yeah, again, thank you, Justin Email, for coming on to Middle Tennessee Geek. And guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Again, I always want to leave you guys with: don't be afraid to unleash your geek and let your fandom shine.